I was informed that he wanted Nicole and I in the movie, and I read the script, and Nick was shooting Portrait of a Lady at the time, and I'd read it there, and he said, please have it, if I'll give it to you the day before, or maybe even, he said, you keep it the weekend, then we'll meet, if you want to meet me in a few days. But I just also, I wanted to show to him that I was trustworthy, that he could trust me, that, he could tell me anything, I would never discuss it with anyone. And so I read the script, and flew immediately to where he was, to his property, and I landed on his property in this helicopter. Of course, he'd set up the landing pad, and I remember the helicopter coming in onto his property, and he'd given me the GPS coordinates to give to the pilot, and told me, sent me a diagram of where he wanted me to land the helicopter. And I remember just landing in, and there he was, just waiting, just alone in the garden as it came down. And I just remember thinking, this guy's kind of a magical, wonderful guy, and I was so nervous. I remember talking to Sydney and saying, listen, what happens if I don't like a word, or what's it going to be like? Can I, what do I say to him? I don't want to offend him. And Sydney was thinking, just, he's human, you just talk to him. I say, oh yeah, of course, I just talked to him, just talked to Stanley. We told him right from the beginning, whatever it takes, and I worked every single day, except for only a few days on the movie, and there I was with Stanley, and it was me and Stanley in the trailer, and me and Stanley, and Nick, a lot of the times, and it was there, and I think he knew that what I was going through. I remember at some point when we were going along, and I just felt, you feel frustrated at times playing a character like that for so long, and finding, because every scene, as Stanley would say, look, we gotta earn every scene with this character, every single moment with this character, and he knew that, in times when I just get frustrated with myself, and at times that we couldn't get it, you know what I mean? And it was just like, fuck. It just, or you just know when you don't have that fire burning that day, or if I was tired, it just, and I bring it upon myself, because I demand a lot of myself. And I know there are a lot of people in my life that are saying, when are you coming back? What do you, because I've got a company that I had, and when are you coming back? And I remember talking to Stanley, and I said, Stanley, look, I don't care how long it takes, but I have to know, are we going to finish in 6 months? This is after shooting. Am I going to finish, but can I set meetings and have people, because people were waiting, and writers were waiting, and people that I was paying, because I said, Stanley, I don't care. Tell me it's going to be 2 years, Stanley. And he'd say, oh, Tom, don't be ridiculous. If it takes that long, then what, everything they say about us is true, And I would laugh, and I say, okay, all right, Stanley. The last day of shooting, a day that I, had both looked forward to and dreaded. Looked forward to because I just, there was enough with Dr. Bill in some ways, and dreaded because I didn't want the experience with Stanley to end. And I remember saying, hey, I was walking out, and I gave him a kiss and a hug, and I said, I love you, Stanley, you know that. And he turned to me, and he was just right there, and it was just a quiet moment. That it was late at night, and he said, I love you too. And he said, thank you, and I said, thank you. And it was much like the moment of the last time we spoke. I shared 3 years of my life with this man. And even when I went to the funeral, going to the funeral, I was not in a good way, and I was very concerned about Nick, and very concerned about Christian and his family, and concerned about the movie. you know, because I know what it meant to him and what it meant to me and my wife, my co-star.